Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Live from beautiful New Delhi. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubha Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Hastinapur, home of the Kuru dynasty. It is one of the smoggier cities in the world. And to celebrate its smog, we decided to do some early morning exercise. Excuse me. I gotta blow my nose. Yes, me and Mara went for a 6:30 a.m. bicycle tour of Old Delhi.
Oh.
They say that the city is asleep at that hour and it's a good time to do the bicycle tour.
But it's not. It's not asleep.
They're awake by 6:30.
They're awake and they're beeping horns and in traffic and polluting more, adding more pollution yeah.
It was a bit dicey, to be honest. I was terrified.
It was a little dicey.
What did the
because Henry gave me some warnings yesterday. He's like, don't do it. He was going on the Zoom, in the Zoom picture, he's going, no, don't do it. And I was like, Henry, it's 6:30 in the morning. It's Sunday. No one's doing anything.
We survived, but
we should have listened to Henry. That's our takeaway today.
Yeah.
We survived.
Did it satisfy the history buff in you?
You know what?
Because you are a history buff.
I hate to say it, but I knew a little bit more about the history than he did. I had to a few times, more than a few times, he would refer to me.
Yeah,
He'd refer to me.
Was.
What do you think, Raghunath? What do you think, Raghunath? But it was cool. It was reasonably cool. It wasn't that cool. Truthfully, if I didn't love Krishna, I don't think I'd hang in India that much. Maybe I'd go to the Himalayas. I mean, it's real dusty, it's real smoggy, it's real noisy. And we were with a bunch of tourists.
We were only with two tourists.
Okay, we were two tourists. I embellished. We were two other people. There was only four of us, and the group.
Thank
leader.
God, there's no way we would have been able to stay all together.
It was impossible to follow this guy through the streets.
I mean, besides the other motorcycles and rickshaws that were on the road, there's also the usual cows and monkeys and dogs and people.
Buffalo.
We're going down these narrow lanes, and then there's also hot, bubbling cauldrons of oil on, on either direction. It's just fried up.
Low-hanging electric wires, where if they don't electrocute you, they're at least going to clothesline you. It was cool. It was really sketchy.
There was one spot where we drove through where they were grinding all of the rocks into something.
Whatever, just grinding rocks into
the
powder.
Entire air, I mean, as if the Delhi air wasn't smoggy already, it was just
let's add
dust.
Let's add this to the mix of your nostrils. God knows what's coming out of this tissue when I open it up.
We don't want to know, Raghunath. Just put that tissue away.
I will say they did deliver us to some very wonderful street food.
Oh, there you go.
That's true.
Yeah, look at Raja Sundari Radha says, I love India. It is. I know. I don't know why I love it too, but it's because Krishna's here. Krishna's everywhere. Everybody's saying Hari Bol. Everybody says Radhe Radhe. But what did we have today? We had this great puris, kachoris, another puri with halava inside. It was so good. And then
puri with halava inside, like wrapped inside, or actually like inside.
There's like
stuffed.
a hole in it, and they just put it inside.
No, they just cut a little hole in the puri,
poured it inside,
filled some halava.
Gave us a little chai, and this aloo sabji, another puri. Oh, and a famous, and you know what Indians love. This is one thing they took from the British that they love is what they love white bread. They love white bread and they love white toast. And then they've taken it a next step further and they make bread pakoras, which I never had. I always thought
pakoras.
Yeah, did you ever go to a fair where they do fried Twinkies or
but I've heard about it.
You heard that fried Twinkies or
like a Snickers pakora.
Yes. So this was you take a piece of bread, you dip it in pakora batter, and you fry it up. And Indians love that. And
how did you like it?
I wonder if Manish liked it. You know what? It was my first one. I always thought it was too indulgent, like a fried Twinkie, but
it's pretty tasty.
It was delicious. It was delicious. Yeah, I'm curious if Manish ever had a fried bread.
That's a new thing. That's not traditional.
I think it is. Well, it's not traditional. Come on, it's not like Krishna and Balaram were fighting over fried white bread, pakora bread.
All right, okay. Robert. This is it. You go home tonight. You get in that airplane.
This is it. Catherine A just showed up, and she's joining us, and we're all jumping on the plane tonight.
All right. Are you in the same seats together?
No, Catherine A is on a different flight. She's on Air India, which is like being in India. If you've ever flown Air India, it's as chaotic and sometimes a little messy as India.
How many bad things are you going to say about India before you leave?
I love it. You don't understand. I love India. I love it to death. I'm really sad. And we have the best. We have some demigod protecting us from bad meals.
Lord Shiva.
Yeah, maybe Lord Shiva, but our going away meal was incredible.
Shiva would have loved it.
I'm not going to get into it, but I couldn't do Indian. I had to do Italian. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It's the eat, pray, love in me that came out.
Well, I know there was that we actually got really good Italian food in Jaipur that one time. Remember? They were making gnocchi. It's really good.
I will say we had an incredible salad. It was incredible.
All right.
Our going away meal.
It was very good.
And then we found another vegetarian.
Okay, so Raghunath, everyone understands that you've enjoyed thoroughly, okay? Rest assured that we know that you are the enjoyer.
All right, Krishna. Oh, Krishna. It was a great day in Delhi, people.
Yeah.
Oh, Manisha's mother used to make bread pakoras for breakfast.
Oh, let's get Manisha's mother on the show. Thank you,
that would be great.
You
know what they do in South India? They actually take the day old idli and then they deep fry that.
Oh, I'd like
to
try that.
Idli fries, remember with Bhakti Vinod?
Idli fries?
Yeah, I think it was sort of the same thing. Yeah, it was really tasty with like a nice masala spice on them.
Interesting. Hey, have you seen any interesting animals since you've been here?
Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, it's funny that you asked that. Because it was the day before yesterday when I rode out to see Kripanidhi Prabhu and his family for lunch.
Yeah,
I saw a mongoose. I've seen quite a few.
I saw 2 mongooses too.
All right,
I saw 2 mongooses.
Is it mongooses or mongoose? I'm not sure, but I've seen them.
I think it's a flock of mongoose. They call it.
Okay, and I saw a jackal.
I saw it was a fox or a jackal.
You trying to one up me?
It was a mange. No. I'm not trying. I thought you were going to say like a Bengal tiger.
No, I think we saw a fox.
We saw it looked like some mangy dog, but it wasn't a dog. It was like it was a dog breed, but it was like something wild.
It was probably a jackal if it looked a little like a fox, because mine looked a little like a fox.
Yeah, then maybe it was a jackal.
Maybe.
Mukunda says it was a fox, but
no. All right, let's get into things. We got questions to answer today, Raghunath, before you go.
By the way, I'm going crazy with my app. What's that app called we use?
I thought you didn't go for apps anymore. You were cutting that out of your life or something.
Picture
plant identification.
Plant identification app.
Oh, plant identification.
Identifying every tree I go by, every holy tree.
You should get the animal identification. You can walk right up to the jackal.
Hold the thing up. Come a little closer. Hold it.
Hold it. I almost got it. Okay.
Can I make some announcements?
Yes, please.
Yes, we need you to make announcements, Mara. We're dependent on that, please.
Yeah. All right, so we have Back to Recovery group meetings today at 9:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you're in Europe, then it's in Europe or other places in the world that don't observe daylight savings at the same time as the U.S. It's worth noting that we changed our clocks last night.
We are observing daylight savings. You make it sound like it's a codicy. Are you observing daylight savings?
Like you're sitting Shiva over there.
At the same time we do. And then Anu Lawrence is offering a postural yoga class at 10 a.m. Eastern time for our Patreon members.
It's good stuff.
Great stuff. And then there's no show tomorrow or Tuesday, and we'll be back at 6 a.m. on Wednesday.
Yeah. So what time will that be for me now? 1.5 hour. So that would be at 1:30 for me, wouldn't it?
We're going to have to figure that off.
7 a.m. New York time. So it'd just be an hour earlier. So 4:30 for you.
4:30. Oh, that works. Yeah. Okay.
That works. Right. Does that fit into your schedule of?
No, but 5:30 is when we do it at 8.
Oh.
2:30 is when we were doing it at.
We're doing it at 6. So right now it's 7 a.m. New York time. And it's 5:30 here.
Can we figure this out privately?
So it would be an hour early.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Let's just tell
if someone else wants to weigh in on the chat board and correct me, but I think it would be 4:30.
Everyone's just like, can you start this show?
No, it won't be 4:30, Mara. Give up on that idea.
Because this is
give up on it.
I'm sticking to it.
Let it go, Mara. Okay,
wrong, but I'm gonna stick to it.
Just let it go. Okay. All right, Raghunath, we got questions.
We got questions. We got answers. Well, we hope we got answers.
Do you want me to read, or do you want to read?
First, I have to invite the people from Facebook. If you're listening to this on Facebook, welcome. Okay. This is our daily yoga podcast of yoga philosophy. And what is yoga philosophy? It's not just working out the body, stretching the body, moving the body. It's to understand you're not a body. You're actually a soul. And the body's a gift. We're taking care of the body. Why? It's a gift. It's a temple. It's a temple for the soul. But the real question is, who am I? Why am I here? And how do I find lasting joy in a temporary world? Big question. That's the big, how do I do that? And guess what? The Srimad Bhagavatam has the answers. We're going through 18,000 verses of the most sacred of all Vedic literatures. But once a week, sometimes twice a week, we take questions. So today's Q&A day. Facebook people, you can find us wherever you get podcasts. All righty.
Who's reading?
Let's see. Bhaktapad.
That would be between you and me, Raghunath. Those are the two options right
This
here.
is from Indira.
Hold it. What?
What?
What are you looking at?
I lost the questions, Mara.
I had them pulled right up.
Yeah, he Indira, pulled them up for me.
That was a text to you, Raghunath. Indira, okay? That wasn't our thing.
From Indira Gandhi, I think. All right. You know what happens, Prabhu? Mara pulls it up, and then I start fiddling. I'm a fiddler.
I know.
Right. Do you want to start with the question from
You're
Nimai?
A spiller as well. It's from Nimai, yeah.
Oh, this is from Nimai.
This is a heavy question, Raghunath.
Okay. I understand that karma is meant to teach us. However, when I see the horrible things children go through in wars, like what questions like, how will this help them? What if the incidents like these take them away from the truth? What if they turn bitter? Please help me understand more deeply the objective karma of this world. Yeah, help Nimai understand the most difficult thing to actually understand. But yeah, you want to take a shot at this?
Would you like to start first?
I can start. This is first of all, we preface it by saying it's very difficult to understand karma, because it's not just our karma that's taking place when something, quote, happens. It's the time, the place, the circumstance. What are the 5 factors of action? The super soul. So many things happen. So many things are in play that makes this karma manifest. There is deeper faith that there is a higher power that's benevolent, and it is meant for our growth. But when we read the Bhagavatam, we see our lifetime, which appears very long. I was a little baby. I'm a teenager. I was in a band, joined the ashram, got married, popped out a bunch of kids. I'm a slightly portlier man, losing his hair. All these things are sort of like I'm watching the autobiography of my life, movie going on right now. And it seems like a long time. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes it as a page in a massive encyclopedia. I grew up with the World Book Encyclopedia. So imagine you pull out one page of that massive encyclopedia. Imagine an encyclopedia that's 100 times bigger than the encyclopedia you grew up with. It's our lifetime as Raghunath or as Nimai is one page of that. And then you turn the page, you're in a whole different body. So even though this life seems so wonderful, tragic, long, it's just a moment in time. Matter of fact, my entire life is like a sneeze that I do in the course of a month. I sneezed once in the course of a month. My entire life is like that. So I might experience pleasure or pain or whatever it is. It's a moment. And hopefully within that moment, someone reaches out, extends their hand, and gives me truth. And when I receive truth, it can get me out of this karmic cycle. There's an access point out of this wheel or this figure 8 of what the yogis, the Hindus, and the Buddhists call samsara. It's a rolling wheel. Like imagine when you're little, you just ever go into a tire and someone rolls you down a hill. It's like, yeah, it's like that. It's scary, and it just keeps going unless you have someone just grab you, stop the tire, pull you out from there. And that's what a bona fide yoga system is saving you from this repeated foolish mistakes again and again. And you're right. Sometimes we can, due to bad association and the choice to be bitter, we can be like, you know what? I'm going to propel myself downward, just like a prisoner does in prison. Instead of rectifying their behavior, they become bigger criminals. And you know what? Sometimes also. But there's many factors going on, and it's hard to like identify each person. What happens to these kids? Who knows what happens to these kids? It could be their last life. They might just have to be punished, so to speak, by taking birth again. Meaning, suppose a child dies at age 4. What does this child do? Well, we don't know that. We don't know the many backstory of their life. But whatever it is, it's going to be over in a moment, in a blink of an eye, and they might have to only do time for 5 years, and then they're liberated. We don't know. It could be that. You think it's a blessing to live a long time on earth? Come on, right? After a while, you start to think like, maybe it's not a blessing. There's a lot of pain here, physically, mentally, emotionally, heartbreak, so many things we go through, betrayal. So we don't know what's on the other side. I think it was Socrates said this as well. He's like, you're fearing death. How do you know? Death could be so much better than you're experiencing right now. So we don't know that this could be death, or even tragic death could be a release from this shell of a body that is always getting pinched by the threefold miseries of pain from our own body, pain from the elements, pain from other people. It could be a liberating effect. So what appears to us as real might not be, when we zoom out and see the entire encyclopedia of our lives, might be like such a beneficial thing. Now, saying that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to be peaceful, treat each other with dignity, treat each other with love. We shouldn't see someone who's going through a miserable experience and say, hey, it's your karma, dude, deal with it. Or, oh, those kids died, it's their karma. We shouldn't think like that, especially to grieving family and grief. But we should understand that there is a greater plan. And the greater plan is from a benevolent parent, a benevolent father, in Radha Krishna, father and mother. And so we should just in the same way, a parent might say, get in the car right now, get your coat, get in the car, we're going to the beach. It's like, what? Why is mom yelling at us? Why is she driving so fast? Why do we got to pull over the gas station? Why do we have to do all these things? The little child doesn't even have the intelligence to understand it. But the parent's sort of like a little pushy, maybe stopping at the bank, which never seems pleasant for a kid, but it's a necessity. It's a necessity. So there is some faith that there is some benevolent parent taking care of us. And I think your question is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to zoom out of our micro life and see the macro picture of my existence. Thank you. My name is Rakanath. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. Generally, you just do a little like a segue thing to like, you have to hand the baton over. I'm just, like, say, what about you? Because anything like that. What about you, Krishna? Yeah, okay, thanks. So, thank you for sharing that, Raghunath. There are a few things that you said that resonated with me. Where I wanted to start on this was, I think it's natural for us when we hear about karma to try to see it in terms of like making a direct correlation, like we try to see it a little too simplistic, perhaps. There's an element of mystery in this world, I believe, that's part of what makes it work.
An element of mystery. I like that.
Yeah, there's an element of mystery. Like, it's not so simple as like everybody's handed the full answer and then you just follow steps 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like you need to really want that. And if you want illusion, then you get illusion. And what it means to want illusion is to mean I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I kind of want to be the center of this picture. Leave me alone. Give me some free. Okay, if that's what you want, Krishna, I'm in the heart of every living being. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. You can forget if that's what you want. If you want that so-called independence, then Krishna's thing is when you're ready to come at me with pure love, I'm ready to reciprocate with your pure love in ways that you can't even imagine. But if you're not ready for that, then enter into the virtual reality. Lose yourself in the virtual reality. Taste the tastes that are there to taste in the virtual reality. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to program some bitterness into that as well. You're also going to taste some bitterness. That is the nature of the virtual reality. And I'm going to put in all types of varieties of ways. I'm going to send messages into that world, right? It's not like it's not like it's going to be so simple as like, oh, you know, I bonk this person over the head and then they turn around and they bonk me over the head. Oh, I get it. I'm not supposed to do that. It's you know, but we all get that message in life, whether it's a teacher in kindergarten saying, hey, that's not how we treat people. You know, we should treat people the way that we want to be treated. And then we have to process that, see how that resonates with us, see if we want to embrace that or if we want to say, I don't care, you know, and then we're going to hear it through the music that we listen to, different messages, and we're going to hear it from the books that we read and from observing the people. It's not, if we try to understand karma in terms of direct correlations, we don't have the vision to put that together. So let's try to understand it as something more broad and subtle, and with a bit of with the confidence that for every action we do, there's a reaction, but with the nuance that I can't necessarily draw the dot to dot connections, right?
I like
and
that.
then it's also that it's not only from our own karma that we learn, it's also from observing other people and what they're going through in this world that we determine our attitude towards this world and whether or not we want to try to enjoy it in separation from God, or whether we want to, you know, again, embrace that loving attitude towards God. That we're witnessing wars. You know, we're witnessing pain. We're witnessing joy. We're witnessing all these different things. And at every moment, we're given the opportunity to kind of adjust how we see this world. Do I want to enjoy the things of this world and forget about God? Have I come to a point in life where I think there's something more than that? Or, and you know what? Here's another thing. We may come to that point. We may come to that point where we're thinking, Raghunath, just stop reading, okay? It's so obvious.
No, you know what? I pressed some weird button. I pressed some weird button. I can't see everybody anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
But we may come to that point in life where we say, you know what? I don't think that the purpose of all of this is to try to suck all the pleasures out of this world that I can and then die. I think there's something more to it. I want to let go of trying to enjoy external pleasures. I think they're a distraction to me. I want to try to connect to something higher. I don't necessarily know what that higher thing is. Or maybe I'm beginning to be informed about what that higher connection is. But here's my point. Even at that stage, for most of us, we might have to taste some real bitterness. Whether it's we witness it, whether it's we taste it ourselves, we might really need to get deep doses of that to say, enough, right? Enough of this. It's like if there's a bird cage and we're that bird and they keep putting some nice bird food in there, we may never leave that cage, you know? But you make that cage a little uncomfortable for the bird, it may fly out and become free. And this world is uncomfortable. This world is our cage, and our experiences in it can become very uncomfortable.
I like that.
Okay. And so let's try to see it that way. Let's try to learn from all the lessons in life. Let's try to educate one another. Let's learn from our own mistakes. Let's learn from the mistakes of others. Let's try to pick up the clues. Let's try to help others pick up the clues. Let's develop a zoomed out perspective that can crack our limited perspective. Break, because we're going to have to become really new, energized people with, really strong, positive convictions that there's nothing in this world that I'm trying to enjoy separately. My love is pure and complete now. My selfishness is gone. I've lost any taste for it. It's whatever helps us to finally make that decision, to finally let go of everything else, we embrace. And unfortunately, a lot of times we need to go through it for that.
So you're saying the Lord leaves clues
all over the place. As a matter of fact, it's like everything's a clue.
Everything's a clue. Great way to. There's no problems. There's just clues.
Okay. Yeah, and of course, as you were saying, we don't want to say that to someone in the midst of their grief and so on.
No. We're there for them. But we should understand
say
that
there's no problem.
Yeah. Especially when it happens to us. We should say, you know what? Something happened to me yesterday. And I was just like, my default, it's not my default. It's what I've been trained to do probably for lifetimes is
something you need to talk about?
Maybe.
I'm here for you.
Okay. Let's talk
I won't share it with anyone.
Except 13,000 people on Zoom. No, but something that's happening. And my quote default that I've been training myself to say is, that's not fair. That's not fair. But you know what?
Not fair.
Then I caught myself. The it's not fair thing is Maya. It's what an entitled person says. It's what an irresponsible person says. Because I don't know what I've done. I don't know what I've done. So I quickly caught myself, because that's what we're training ourselves in, to catch ourselves when we speak nonsense, to say, I must have done something to get this reaction. Now, if you were to come up to me and say, you little fool, it's your karma, deal with it, that wouldn't have helped my heart. But for me to come to those terms on my own, it's our job as devotees to be loving, compassionate, and what's my other one, Mara? Loving, intolerant. Loving, compassionate, intolerant. But for ourselves, we feel, I must have done something to get this karma. How can I grow from this? How can this refine me?
Kampam, right there, right?
Taitanu kampam, bum. I don't know the rest, but I know what you're talking about.
I can pull it up if you like.
We take full responsibility for whatever we got. That's hard to do. That's a tough horse pill to swallow. What do you think about that? Can you see me? I can't see myself, Castua. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, I can't see me. All right. What do we got for questions?
Here it is. Tateno Kampam.
Yeah, give it.
All right. Tateno. This is a text spoken by Lord Brahma. We've quoted it many times on the show. Text Canto 10, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, text number 8. Lord Brahma speaking to Sri Krishna. And he says, Tateno kampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbir vidadhan namaste. Namaste. Jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions to their past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances within their heart, words, and body, they're surely eligible for liberation, for it has become their rightful claim. Right?
That's beautiful.
There's an attitude right there.
The key words are patiently accepting. Say that again. Patiently accepting.
Patiently suffering the reactions of the past misdeeds.
Yeah, not complaining, not, oh, it's not fair. Why me? It's, Mallory, our good friend Mallory. Yeah. She's going through a lot of serious health issues, and we're giving her some love and some prayers. But she's such a beautiful example of patiently accepting.
She's great.
This is patiently accepting this is Krishna's mercy. Yeah. She's not a complainer. She's had some health issues since childhood, and she just fell in love. She just got married. Everything's great, and then her health issues reoccur. And it's a shout out to her for just being fixed and focused on saying, "Oh Krishna, my life is in your hands. Whatever you're going to give me, be it good or bad, that's just karma, and it's for my growth." And when you see people like that, how does that verse wind up? They become qualified. They become eligible for liberation.
They're eligible for liberation.
They're eligible for liberation. It's quite impressive. I'm a little bit of a crybaby when things go wrong for me. You can ask Mayor about that. I cry, complain, I blame. It's ugly. It's ugly, Kostuba.
All right.
It's ugly.
Well, I'm here for you, Raghunath.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, and then so you offer obeisances with your heart, with your words, with your body. This is the formula for breaking free, getting out of the cage. In one sense, it's all right here. One thing also, Raghunath, that I'm really very convinced of is that we tend to think that our perspective is like mature and well developed, but a child thinks that too. A child thinks, hey, this isn't fair, the way I'm being treated by my parents. No, the parents are coming at you with nothing but love and nothing but helpful, get
over yourself, kids.
Yeah, but we think we understand it all as kids. No, what we see in this world, we have our judgments about it. I think we need to be open-minded to say that the day will come where we'll be so zoomed out. We'll be able to look back on our past life, maybe even many past lives, and it'll all make perfect sense. What's going on in this world, what we needed to break out of it. I'm tempted not to go there because last time I did this, you said, "Oh, that's your fault." Twilight Zone in that episode.
Your default.
You see, there you go.
You're like Matrix, Twilight Zone. And,
Bubba, I come up with a new nugget every day. Okay, so don't get on my case. All right. So
carry on. Carry on my wayward son.
But there's that scene where
you are done.
So this guy's living on the asteroid. It's like he's living in prison. He's got this robot that's been dropped off for him. He's fallen in love with the robot. He thinks she's real.
Can we have another one?
No, this one is so telling. And I gave you another one the other day.
Episode on this.
I gave you a different one the other day, but I'm not gonna tell the whole story. Just
I want you to watch every season of the Twilight Zone.
Let me say
so you can at least come up with some new ones.
I don't have to come up with a new one. I'm coming at it from a different angle. Okay. Just hold on. Okay, you ready? No. Professor Snooky's like, yeah, he's coming at it from a different angle. Look at Professor Snooky. You see, she said he's coming at it from a different angle. Let him speak.
With the robot. Go.
He falls in love with the robot, and then what happens is the spaceship comes back and say, "Hey, we're ready to take you back to Earth." Right? They found you innocent back on Earth. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So then the guy's and he's like, "So let's go. The time is wasting. We got to go back right now." And he says, "Hey, that's great. Let me just grab Alicia over here, and we're ready to go back." And Alicia's the robot.
We can't put the robot. We can't fit the robot.
We can't put the robot on. There's not enough fuel to get the rocket ship back, and we got to go right now because the Earth is moving and the asteroid's moving. We need to go now, and we can't take Alicia. And the guy's so attached. He's so attached because of this artificial love, this illusory love that he has with this robot. He can't he can't step out of his prison because of this artificial love, right? Hear me out, Raghunath. Yeah. This is on point.
I get it. It's a great
show. Then what does the guy do? What does the guy do? The guy pulls out his gun
and he shoots
points it at the robot, shoots the robot. She hits the ground, her face comes off.
And it's a bunch of wires.
It's wires, gears.
Like what a child's nightmares are made of.
Okay. But for the guy that fell in love with the robot, that was brutal. That was raw. That was painful.
So let's relate that to normal life right now.
That's my point. That if we're going to step out of our prison
right now,
if we're going to step out of our prison, we think, why don't you just invite me to step out of the prison? No, because we're staying in it. The guy came back on the rocket ship and said, come back. I'm ready to take you back to Earth. And he said, no, I want to stay.
It's like the door is open. It's like the door of the cage is open, but we're still not going. We're facing the other way.
Now you see, Raghunath?
That's how crazy we are.
Yeah. So we need someone to pull out a gun.
Mix it up.
We need someone to pull out a gun and shoot our robot in the face. And then, and it's raw. We feel pain. Why do I have to go through this kind of suffering and this trauma, this grief? But then he says, this. He says like this. He says, "Thank you, like thank you, because you did that horrible thing that was so painful for me. Now I'm able to step out of my prison and I'm ready to go back to Earth." That's why we have to see so much pain and suffering in this world, because we'll never let go if we don't have it.
My analogy is it's like holding onto the tree and saying, the tree's got me. The tree's got me.
Yeah, but my analogy was far more thorough and stronger.
Mine was sort of
that was fine.
A Puranic analogy versus pop culture, and I get it.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get it. You got to watch some more episodes though to keep these analogies, to keep things fresh. Keep it fresh.
It was fresh. That was fresh. I came at it from a different angle, right?
Okay. All right, where are we at?
We got at least time for one more question. You want me to read it? This is from L.
Acting crazy.
Ellie?
L.
It's just L, I think, right? E-L-L-E. L.
You know what? Something's up with my screen. You read the question.
I'm going to read it to you right now. My name is L, and I'm an occasional Zoomer and regular other. I'm so grateful to have found you. We're grateful for you, L. Thank you. You came into my life when I needed you, when I most needed you. Oh,
that's a song. This whole thing. You came into my life when I
It's
needed
not a song.
You.
No, it's not a
song. I know, but I'm just saying. It sounds like it could be a song.
Okay. Here's the question. My question, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, text 4:7, says he will manifest himself on earth when Dharma declines and the purpose of life is forgotten.
Yep.
Given the state of the world, the corruption, the greed, the pervasive evil that has shown itself increasingly over the past few years,
yeah.
Do you believe Krishna has returned?
Yes, we do.
Krishna is Raghunath.
In the form of the holy name.
I was going to say it's Raghunath.
The message of the Bhagavatam.
Okay, well, let me finish the question before you start answering.
Oh, okay. All right.
If so, would you have any views on in where or as whom? Hit it. Raghu.
Krishna has come in the form of the holy name, and he's transforming everybody, including you, Al. He's actually here with us in his sound vibration, and it's actually working. It's not like, well, where is he? Let me see. Invite him over. Why doesn't he get on television and take over? Why doesn't he just take over all the networks and YouTube and Hulu? And right? If Krishna's there, and every time you turn on Hulu, Krishna's there. Hey, it's me. I'm here. I'm here to liberate you. Krishna has in the form of the holy name. And it's a powerful, transformational sound vibration that is changing your life through kirtan and through wisdom teachings and through podcasts in this particular case. We're not doing this podcast. Lord Chaitanya is working through this body. Krishna is working through our bodies to do this. And the proof is that you're hearing it and you're transforming. And I'm hearing it. And you know how crazy my last 3 years of my life have been since 2020? Ridiculously insane. And I know a lot of you can say, you got nothing. You got nothing on me. And I'm sure you have a story. But the Bhagavatam saved my life many times over in the last 3 years. And it's just holding on to a rope. It's like a lifeline. Like you're in the ocean, and then all of a sudden someone from shore throws you a lifeline to pull you out. That's what the Bhagavatam is. It's a message of spiritual truth that's been disseminating it says it's a few verses earlier in chapter 4, that Krishna has come to reestablish this chain of disciplic succession. And he's come now through the holy name. And if you don't believe me, You have to believe me because it's affecting you. It saved your life, Al. You just said it. So Krishna's here, and he just may not come. And until we wipe our lenses clean, we may not see him face to face, but he can appear to you face to face if he chooses, and your desire is strong enough. Face to face, like how you can think of him, not just in the form of like a sunset or the ocean, actually face to face. Little cowherd boy winking at you, sticking a glove jumping in your mouth, whatever it is. That's what I say.
You did it again. You didn't give me any hook there. You gave me nothing.
I didn't give you. What do you think?
What do you think? Is it something like that?
What do you think of that, Kastuba? That's what I used to always say. What do you think of that, Kastuba?
No, I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say two things. You said one of them, Raghunath. But there is that verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kale, Nama Rupa Krishna Avatara, Nama Haite Haya, Sarva Jagata Nishtara. That in the age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, Maha Mantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name, one associates with the Lord directly. Anyone who does this is certainly delivered. So that's one, we can't underestimate that Krishna is there in this mantra. And the more that the mantra spreads, the more that Krishna is present, right? The more that we feel it, the purifying. Powerful purifying effect. So that, yes, certainly.
Powerful purifying effect.
Certainly, Krishna is here. Yeah, in that mantra. And I was thinking another one that which relates directly to L's question, which asked specifically about Dharma, right? If I remember correctly. Let me pull that up again. Given the state of corruption, greed, and pervasive evil.
Corruption and greed.
You don't have to do that with every phrase.
Really. But that's what it sounds like, right? Given the state of corruption and greed.
Okay, so let me just read this. At the end, at the end of the first chapter of the first canto of the Bhagavatam, the sages, the last question they ask of Sutta Goswami is they say, since Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom Dharma will now go to for shelter. Right? In what form will Dharma be
Krishna
present?
Left.
And so that question is answered in the third chapter of the first canto with a famous verse. Krishna svadham upagate dharma jnanadibi saha kalau nashta drisham esha puranarko Dunoditaha. This is a verse that you want a tattoo on your back piece right here.
Yeah, I've been looking for a good tattoo. Tell me.
This is a verse that every listener to Wisdom of Sages, if you feel Bhagavatam is playing an important role in your life, hearing it every day, this verse right here, this Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. You could get it kind of like with the sun going across your back, like with the rays of the sun going out. Right,
Pegasus flying.
Yeah. This someone's asked. Danielle's asking. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.43. This Bhagavad Pegasus. No, not a Pegasus. Who said anything about Pegasus? Just a rays of the sun.
Pegasus.
Doesn't need a Pegasus. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. It has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by Dharma, Jnana, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light.
Isn't that good news?
From this Purana. Right there. There's the answer to the question. Right. In the holy name of Maha Mantra and in Bhagavatam, take shelter of these two and Krishna will be present. And the more that we can share these, the more that we can share that mantra, the more that we can share the wisdom of the Bhagavatam in unlimitedly creative ways, right? Small ways and large ways. The more that we share it, the more that we feel that presence, and the more that we feel relief, we feel joy, we feel spiritual bliss. So those are the two places I would say, right? Yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm having one of those sneeze sessions where you just sneeze one after another like that, like a machine gun of sneezes. But sneezes, that's what's going on right now. I've gone through like 14 tissues. I don't know. I must have snuffed something in.
We got 9 minutes. Should we do one more? You like that answer?
Yeah. I did.
Bhagavatam, right? Okay, let's do one more. I'm going to read it to you, Raghunath.
You're going to read it.
It's coming from Jerry Winkleman.
Jerry Winkleman?
Yes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you listening? Okay.
Prabhu.
This is what Jerry has to say. I try to stay a little ahead of y'all in the Bhagavatam, so I get the opportunity to go over things twice. So he reads it ahead of us, and then we talk about it. Interesting.
That's smart.
Yeah. I'm in the chapter where the sages are speaking with Chitraketu. Chitraketu is, right now we're reading about Vritrasura. Chitraketu is Vritrasura in his previous life.
Okay.
We're going to hear about that. I'm in the chapter where the sages are speaking with Chitraketu about the death of his son. His son dies, right? Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Right. Heartbreaking.
I like how it presents the idea of impermanence. How he was not his son. This wasn't his son, even though he was his son. He's like, I'm not your son. And he was not the father, that sort of thing. With that understanding, and here it goes, what is the way to view marriage? I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 13 years. No kids wanted, and we're absolutely sharing in the space of love with one another. Oh. I understand unattachment or detachment in terms of leaving the body. But if we are just playing roles, then why marry? Just as an expression of material nature? Or is it an opportunity to become closer with God? Or is it a hindrance toward our walk back to God? I have my own opinions, but I'm curious, what are yours? Many thanks for all that you do. That's Jerry Winkleman. Thank you, Jerry, for the question. Hit it quick, Raghunath. We got a little bit of time.
Hit it quick. Whatever you need to get your feet on the ground, walking back to God. And sometimes it's a partner. Sometimes it's a good friend. Sometimes you need nothing.
It was Yudhishthira that said the wife is the best friend.
Yeah. So is a dog.
Dog could be nice too.
Wife. The dog and the wife are the best friends.
Hopefully the wife doesn't leave as much hair around the house as Gus does.
Just in the shower.
Okay.
But I will say that, whatever you need to get back. And is it, people can say, well, is that a diversion? No, it's not a diversion. If it brings you closer to Krishna, that's real sannyas then. Real sannyas is you get rid of the desire for sense gratification. And you do that in any situation, single, married with no kids, married with kids, whatever gets you closer to God, go that direction. That's my short answer.
Okay,
what would you say?
There you go.
What would you say, Krishna?
I was just
waiting the whole show for that. Yeah, why don't you give us a analogy using whatever that show is.
No, just see now we're gonna. Was that necessary? Was that necessary?
You got another episode for us?
Was that necessary? No, Raghunath. I want to talk a little about Sri Chaitanya. Right. Okay. Sri Chaitanya he spoke a verse. He spoke this insight, and it's an insight that is often chanted on and meditated upon before his followers perform ritual.
Yeah.
And that is basically the message. It goes to describing Varnashram Dharma, that there are 4 different, we could say 8 different social positions that we adopt. Some are at different times in life, or some are just suited to our psychology.
Is that what you're about to say?
No, that's who can be a guru.
Okay.
This one is, I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Shudra, I'm not a Brahmachari.
That's what I said.
That verse is, it doesn't matter whether you're a Brahmachari or a sannyasi, you can be a guru if you know the science of Krishna.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
Close.
It was sort of close, wasn't it?
Okay. So, but the point here is that
we're going to see who we saw today. Prime Minister Modi just drove right by in a Cavaclod.
That, Raghunath, is not helpful.
That's a squirrel. Sorry,
yeah,
I
that's
apologize,
not helpful.
but that's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Don't
shut
try
down
to
the
play
whole
it off
city.
Shut down my answer.
I did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Prabhu, please forgive me for that one. Go.
No problem. So here's the point: is that within the Vedic text, it prescribes different social roles that we can play, and the dharma that comes with them. It gives us instructions of how to act according to those roles in ways that will help elevate us. What it means to be a good student, what it means to be a good husband or wife, the dharma that you accept, what it means to be a good retired person, right?
Yeah.
What it means to be a good business person or a good teacher. These aren't our true identities. And so in that prayer, Sri Chaitanya is saying, I'm not any of these things. Who am I? Gopi Bharta Kamala Yor Dasa Dasa Anudas. I'm the servant of Krishna, the lover of the gopis. That's my eternal identity. But if as I pass through life, it can be helpful to embrace the dharma from adopting some of these social roles that we have. And marriage is one of those, because you enter into marriage, the first thing it does is it limits you. It limits your ideas of where I'm going to go for all the sense gratification that I'm looking for in life, right? One person, these two people get together and they commit to each other, right? That's important. I'm shutting down all the other possibilities of branching off for sense gratification. We're going to narrow it right down, right? And then we have responsibility to each other with what enjoyment that we get in this world. We also have sacrifice that's involved, and that can help us move on a steady path, so that we can gradually let go of all of by the end, we want to be thinking like, I'm not any of these roles, right? This is, in one sense, you've been my wife all along, but no, you're Krishna's servant and so am I. And we're both going to die and serve Krishna eternally. So these a role like a husband and a wife, how that plays out in the practice of bhakti is both understand we're adopting a temporary dharma that we're going to let go of, that's going to help us uncover the eternal dharma, which is pure love for Krishna, nothing else. Okay, that's it, Raghunath.
Very good, Mr. Kastuba. Very, very good.
All right. Mara's right. Come on there, Mara.
That's it. And guess what?
You're leaving on a jet plane.
We're leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll come back again.
You know when you're coming back again.
Stuba, people want to know what happened to Genevieve Harrison.
Genevieve, she's had a little back and forth across the country, going coast to coast. It didn't work out, but we'll probably get her next Sunday. We're gonna get her real soon. That's coming.
Pretty bad. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. I see some people join late. Kelly Skinner, Harry Bull. Kelly Skinner from Vermont. Steve Amari joined also from Vermont. Trap Down Under jumped in. Steve Amari's from Boston. Mike Kramus here from Nashville. Vishnu Priya from South Korea is here. Derek's here. Danielle from Danielle is just from the UK. David Murray jumped in. Man, they snuck in right under the right under the wire, right before the door closed. Glad you guys are here. If you want to join us on Zoom, all the others out there, join us. It's fun. Go to wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. Mara will send you the secret Zoom codes, and you can join our little witches coven. Oh, Mr. Kastuba.
Oh.
You know what? If you haven't done it yet, go to Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. It means a lot in the algorithms. Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Tell us your story, how you got here, and if you like the podcast and what you like about it. I read them all. Matter of fact, there's a whole bunch of new ones this year.